Okay, so we've been talking about time management in Islam. Okay? Have a seat, brothers. We've been talking about time management in Islam and how to sort of manage your time as a Muslim and so on. Okay? Okay, sisters, let's have a seat, please. Thank you. So, which month are we in right now? Anybody knows?
I know, Rajab.
We are in Rajab. Okay. Okay, have a seat, have a seat. So we are in the month of Rajab. What is after Rajab? Sha'ban. And after Sha'ban?
Ramadan.
Okay.
Ramadan countdown.
Okay, have a seat, please. Have a seat. So we are en route, inshallah, for Ramadan. Okay, and we make a special dua. We say, Allahumma balighna Ramadan, inshallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the ability to reach Ramadan and get its blessings, inshallah. Okay.
34 days until Ramadan.
Have a seat, have a seat. So now, we are in the month of Rajab, and we're getting very close to Sha'ban. So the Prophet ﷺ used to, and this is part of preparing and time management and so on. So when we see something coming in advance, usually if there's an event or if there's a special field trip day or whatnot, how many months do you be planning in advance? 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, sometimes even 6 months you have to prepare for this big trip. Okay? Quiet, please. Okay? Everyone, please, I need your attention. So sometimes when it comes to certain events in your life, a very important event, you are going to plan way in advance. So when we're in the month of Rajab and you want to manage your time as a Muslim, and this is something for everybody, not just the adults or even the youth as well. You say, okay, usually when Ramadan comes, the first week is tough. It's hard. I'm getting headaches. I'm tired. Oh my God, this day is so long. It's it's too much. That's usually the first week, and the second week things get better. It's easier to fast, right? It's easier. Maybe you're fasting half a day. Now you're fasting 3/4 of the day. Maybe you're reaching Maghrib. Now you're fasting the whole day. Sometimes you're realizing you're getting stronger and it's getting easier. So instead of practicing how to fast and practicing worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Ramadan only, what about if we step back a little bit and start preparing for Ramadan from, let's say, Sha'ban or even Rajab? What that means that, okay, I don't want to enter Ramadan and I'm not prepared. I'm practicing, I'm tired, I'm not enjoying it. It's like, okay, I'm really exhausted. You don't want to be exhausted in Ramadan. You want to be performing at the top level, right? So this is a major tip. It's called preparation, not procrastination. Okay? Does everyone know what procrastination is?
No. I know.
Hands up. Yes, sir. It's a type of laziness, okay? But
I know.
Give me some more.
I know.
Yes. One second. Yes, you. If you're gonna answer, I need hands up without noise. Yes.
Now to be the sweep, like you're saying that I'm gonna do later.
Yes. So you're delaying something. That's sweet, right? Oh, I'll get to it. I'll get to it. And a lot of people, they do this in the case of tawbah, for example. Sometimes when you delay your tawbah, you delay your repentance, it becomes too late, right? So part of good planning and part of good management of your spirituality is now we're managing our ibadah, right? You want to prepare for it. If you have for example, you have a big sporting event and you're an athlete, how long you're preparing for this final day at the Olympics, for example?
A year. 2 years.
A year.
1,000.
2 years. Some people 3 years. They're preparing so pretty much their entire life. They're preparing so much for one moment so they can get the gold medal. On a physical note, that's good dedication. On a physical note, that's great. They're active, they're staying healthy, they're preparing for this great day, they have discipline. Shabab, can that cup be thrown in the garbage, please? Thank you. So you're preparing so much for a specific day, and that shows excellence, discipline, skills, responsibility. There's a lot of good things with that. But we need to have the same discipline, same abilities, and enthusiasm and zeal for our deen as well. Right? So there's one thing, you prepare for good things in this world, you work really hard here, but working really hard in the hereafter is also a very important thing. So for example, if you say, okay, Ramadan is on its way, I want to be at my cruising speed once Ramadan hits. I want to start, when you're in the airplane, you're on the runway, you're taxiing, you're taking your time, you're filling up gas, like, Ya Allah, it's taking forever, right? When are we going to hit the sky, brother? Like, we're taking way too long. I've sat on the runway for over 2 hours once. Like, it was absolutely insane. Just sitting and waiting. So you want to be cruising. You don't want to be even climbing, right? Because climbing is still tough. Like, you're still battling it out. You want to cruise the minute Ramadan hits. But this means that the minute Ramadan hits, you are not only... Yeah, there's my juice. My juice is gone. Okay. So I'm going to speak a little louder. See if you can find something. If not, I can just use the mic. Okay, so if Ramadan comes, you are already fasting every single day. You know what it feels like? You know you know how to wake up because you practiced sleeping early, for example. By the way, who sleeps early?
Me.
Like,
I 10 o'clock.
1 second. One second. Yeah. What's early and what's?
6:30.
Okay. No, I can't hear him.
I sleep at 12. I sleep at 12.
1 second. Yes. Pardon? Okay. On weekdays? Okay. Okay, this is awesome. We're back. Okay.
Did you get your juice back?
I got my juice back. I got my Kool-Aid. Okay. All right. So.
Flavor. No, he got Mike.
Okay, listen.
It's Mike.
So on a normal day, on a weekday, you want to sleep at 9 p.m. maximum.
Or 10 p.m.
It's too late.
I sleep at 11.
Okay?
9 to 10 p.m. maximum.
Listen, if you sleep at 9, you wake up 8 hours later at what time?
5.
Supposedly 5 a.m.
Or 3.
Too late.
Right? Supposedly 5 a.m. So if you sleep early, you wake up early. In Ramadan, that's helpful if you wake up 1 hour before Fajr. Why?
Because you can do suhoor.
You can have, of course, qiyam, right? Dua.
You can have small breakfast.
You can also have some suhoor. This more qiyam. At that time, is considered qiyam, tahajjud, right? And then you are, like, you had a complete morning. So you pray Fajr, you're not praying Fajr at the last person, you're rushing through the last rak'ah. Sometimes you see people, they're just catching the salah. There's a big difference of the person who came half an hour before salah and he's waiting for the adhan, versus somebody just rushing and making all this noise and just trying to catch one. They all get the reward. But there's a special reward for those who are early, those who come to the first row, those who take their time and they come to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with hudu and tranquility and sakina and so on. Right? There's a big difference. Right? You go to the airport a little early and you don't rush through security, or you go last minute and you're rushing and you're tripping, you're falling and all that kind of stuff. It's just a way of life. Okay? So, yes, sir.
Aren't you supposed to stay up?
Yeah, but you can also rest a little bit and then you wake up, right? If you need to. Right? I know it's in Alberta it's a little different, right? You're in the summer, Isha is like 10:30, 11 o'clock, and Fajr is like 3 a.m. So there's not much time to sleep. But you pray Fajr early, and you can sleep after that, right? Again, you adjust according to your environment.
At summer, it would be at 12 o'clock.
Yes.
Midnight, and then it would
Okay, yes.
you have to do that all.
Pardon?
Like, do you have to do support after them?
Yeah, you don't have to do suhoor, but there's so much barakah in it, right? Like, maybe 1 cup of water and a couple of dates can maybe suffice for the whole day. It'll keep you, energetic, right? If without it, sometimes you feel like tired and groggy. So, again, it's time management, right? So when we talk about time management, if you plan well from early on and you are sleeping early, waking up early, sometimes you're like, oh, I'm going to wake up an hour before Fajr. What am I going to do for an hour? What am I going to do for an hour? It's too early, right? There's so much things you can do in the last hour, right? Even on, besides Ramadan. You can make dua, you can...
You can watch your telephone playing Fortnite.
No games, okay? Listen, excuse me, Ahmed, we need to be serious.
Yeah, to be serious, you can do
Okay?
that now.
So, if you're waking up early, you're preparing yourself for something that's great and that's coming better. Okay? So once Ramadan starts, you're not catching up. You're not, the second runner-up. When you play Kahoot and stuff, there's like, first place, second place, third place, and there's the runners-up. You don't want to be a runner-up, right? You always want to be at the top of your game. Okay? Okay. If you're gonna, excuse me, I need you off the wall, please. Off the wall. Please sit in the middle. Thank you very much. And spread apart. Too much conversations. Spread apart. Let's go, boys. Come on. In the middle, please. You can come forward, please. Okay. So, preparing in advance makes you ahead of the rest. Okay? And that's a major aspect, and that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves of a believer. He likes the person who is punctual, on time. He likes the mu'min al-qawi, right? A strong believer, right? Because you don't want to worship Allah with a weak spirit, or with a weak personality, or weak performance, right? Like, sometimes when we pray your qiyam, you realize, oh my God, one rak'ah, and I'm like, I can't do this, I'm dying. It's so hard because you didn't practice, right? You're realizing, okay, this one page is feeling like I'm standing here for like forever. My knees are falling apart. I'm so exhausted. Hamad. Everyone's listening. So it requires a lot of practice and patience. Okay. Now, in order to do a good action, in order for an action to be accepted, we talked about this before, there's two things that need to be sent forward to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In order for your action to be accepted, there's two conditions. You know what those conditions are?
Correct niyyah and correct actions.
Okay, she had her hand up.
Niyyah.
Niyyah.
First step.
Okay, so having the right intention and
Matters!
hands up, please.
I know.
Yes.
Action.
And what kind of action?
Like a right action.
A correct action. So it needs sincerity and correctness. Okay, sincerity and correctness. Okay, someone's sincere. He wants to fast from Ramadan, but he just fasts half a day. Or he says, no, I'll fast, but I'm going to water fast. What means I'm just going to drink water, after every salah. I'll drink one sip of water just to keep me hydrated. Is that acceptable?
No.
Yes.
Yes. No kids can do it. They can
I'm talking a person who is responsible for Allah. Can he say, okay, listen, he's not sick, he's not in any form of trouble. He's just saying, the way I'm going to fast. The way I'm going to fast is this way. This is a convenient way to fast. Is that acceptable?
No.
Yes.
Is that like fasting?
How is that yes?
Yes.
No, how is she's saying yes? How is that a yes?
Because you need the niyyah.
Well, not the right action.
No, but there's no right action.
But like,
You see what I'm saying? So
no, but I thought by the right actions you mean like you can't, like, for example, swear or like do something bad, like steal, then your fast is broken.
yes, so anything that if you drink water, anything that goes
Edible.
in, that's edible, or anything that goes into your system it will break your fast, right? So even
Wait, what if you eat toothpaste? What happens if you like
You broke your fast. If you did it before
guys, we're still answering another question. 1 second. Hold your questions. So anything that happens by a mistake. Okay, thank you very much. Anything that happens by a mistake, she said, if you swallow toothpaste, anything that happens by a mistake, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pardons you. It's not deliberate. But if you say, no, I'm going to drink water, I don't care, I'm tired, I can't do this, I'm out, right? If you're responsible for fasting, this is your pillar of Islam, and you're going to just botch it, then you are making you're gonna get a bad deed. You're gonna get, right?
Kids could do it because
Even to
Kid,
babies?
no, kids are different. Kids and children are different. I'm talking in general. Yes. So when you're young and you're practicing, it's okay. You can take your time. But as you get older and you become liable and responsible before Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, you have to be ready. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said, train your children. And what age for salah?
7.
7.
And then when you
And if they don't, at which age?
10,
And
whip them like
not
this.
with them. No, you just get a al-mashi, you know, just a quick touch. Now everybody has this touch in their own. It means a different meaning in their own language and culture. Okay. Okay. Yes.
When is it for Ramadan? My dad will go.
Okay. Excuse me, guys. Listen to this. So your question is?
When you're gonna fasting, when is it fard for you? What age?
Okay, so once you become an adult, Islamically, right? That's a different topic. But once you become an adult,
When is it fard for you to fast? Like what age?
yeah, when you reach maturity, age of maturity.
What, 20? 13?
No,
When you're
depends.
13?
Depends. Everybody's different.
No, it
Okay.
depends on the
All right, so let's get back to the topic, guys.
Wait, it depends on what?
And on the person, you'll know. Okay.
How am I gonna
So
know?
back to the point. When it comes, when you are practicing, for something like this, right? Salah is the same thing. The Prophet ﷺ said, at 7, train your children. At 10, become very serious with it, right? Because what happens if you're not praying Salah at 10, 11, 12, 13, you're not going to be used to it and you're going to think it's not important, right? And are we here, guys?
Yeah.
Are we here?
Yeah. I'm over there. Good for you.
Okay, so this requires practice and it requires attention and dedication and so on. The same thing with fasting, the same thing with giving sadaqah and zakat and so on. As you are brought up in the deen, you are understanding why you're doing things, right? And this is something that is crucial to your upbringing. Yes?
But what if you need to take a very important meal that has blood?
Yes. Now, if someone needs to take, as you said, if someone needs to take a very important needle and they have a sickness or a condition, this is a different situation, right? Yeah. If they are terminally ill for like a very long time, they cannot recover from that. That's different. They can pay a small sadaqah. Guys,
What was wrong?
excuse me.
I couldn't do that with him.
Guys, if we're not participating, I can just end this right now.
Doesn't EpiPen, like, for example,
1 second.
one needs to, and you need to use an EpiPen,
Yeah, so if someone needs to take a medication and they're going to have to...
that, like, does that break it?
Yes, yeah, it would, right? But if you're going to become healthy after a while, they say it's a temporary sickness, after you become better, you can make up those fasts, right? And you pay a small little, you feed a person, right? You pay a small, a meal for like a sadaqah, okay? But in the case where it's forever, like it's a terminal illness, then you can just
Wait, so you mean permanent?
that kafara.
So like cancer or something?
Yeah, so there's a difference between someone terminally ill and someone who's temporary ill,
So
right?
you mean like ill forever?
It depends, temporary or long term, right? So it depends on your situation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, those who are traveling, فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنكُم مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ. You can make up those fasts later, right? So the point here is Allah is not trying to punish anybody.
Wait,
Fasting, 1 second. Fasting is not a punishment, right? You want to enjoy this ibadah. You want to enjoy ibadah. If you're not enjoying your salah, that means maybe you didn't practice it enough, or you don't know why you're doing it, or you don't understand it yet.
I don't really understand it by
1 second. If you have a special skill, say you were an aspiring artist, okay? You draw pictures, and you draw landscapes. You're starting off, 1 second, keep your hands down. Keep your hands down, please. You are an aspiring artist. You're drawing landscapes, nature. It takes time. Do you think you're going to get the perfect picture, your $1 million picture right away?
Yeah.
Bob Ross.
No.
yeah.
On the first try?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob Ross.
Yeah, Bob Ross.
Give it a
Bob Ross
give
for
a
10
budget
years.
of 500.
Listen, if you have a gift from Allah, alhamdulillah, ذَلِكَ فَضْلُ اللَّهِ يُؤْتِيهِ مَن يَشَاءُ. But in general, the general fact is that it takes time. You're not going to walk right out of kindergarten and you can start drawing $1 million pictures, right? It takes time. Now, practice, it takes the skills, it takes resources, it takes time, it takes commitment, right? Just the same thing with Quran. Are you able to memorize the whole Quran like overnight? Or it takes time?
I'm almost done half of it.
I have a question.
Does it take time?
Only quarter.
I'll just.
No, I think way more than quarter.
Who heard my question? Okay, Shabab, I need you to sit back, please. Move back. Come sit over there, please.
The kid under the table, move back.
You still never answered my question.
Okay. Question, yes. Yes.
Okay. You know how he said that if you're ill you can't fast?
Yes.
Like you don't need to fast. What if why did you get you ate it was junk food? So that's why. So you don't get hasanat for that. It's your fault because you made yourself ill, right?
No, it depends, right?
Like she said, if you eat junk food and then you get ill because you ate junk food.
No, okay, we're talking if somebody became sick. We're not talking how they became sick. This is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He decides, right? So, but in the case...
What if he thought like, okay, so I don't fast, I'm going to pretend that I got sick, and then he's going to put junk food.
No. Okay, I think he... Okay, next question was, 1 second. There was it you? Yes, okay.
What if, like you said, if you're like on Safar, you're gonna do it later after Ramadan,
Yes.
right? So what if after Ramadan is Eid and there's gonna be feasts and everything, you're gonna have to. It's haram to fast.
Yes. So after Eid, after the days of Eid, you will find ways to make it up. But you have to remember something.
So it's after Eid.
Any days, so listen, any day that you miss fasting Ramadan, that day never comes back. So if you actually miss a day of Ramadan, you'll never fast that day ever again.
No, but you might.
Pardon?
You might.
No, you can't.
Because it's a cousin.
No. My point is that's a night time. My point is that the day once we hit Salat al-Maghrib, that day is gonna go forever. It doesn't come back. So it's not the same effect, right? You're gonna fast a regular day, but the whole world is not fasting with you, right? It's not Ramadan. Yes, sir.
How come there's 8 types of people and how come some need to fast?
8
types of people? I thought there were only one species. Okay, might call them by their skin race.
Okay, think about the question again. Yes.
Okay, so let's say you have to take a shot or like a needle. Does that break your fast?
Yes. So because if you're taking out blood, that doesn't break your fast. But if you're putting anything inside your body, even if it's like a needle or whatnot, it's
But it's
you know.
medicine.
But like you're not
Yes.
getting full.
Depends on the needle. If it is
The needle is taking out your blood. The vaccine is
Yeah, in the veins. Yes.
if it is the needle and the veins, you break your fast.
Yes.
But if the needle is in the muscle, you
Yes.
don't break your fast.
Yeah. So anything that it nourishes your body, right? Like anything that's it's going into your system and it's providing nourishment because of a lack of something, right?
You're not getting full.
Pardon?
You're not getting full.
I understand. But again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He prohibited anything going in. Okay? Anyways, this is a different topic. We don't want to go too far into this. Our point going back to is preparing for such day, right? So when we said action has two, action requires 2 conditions to be accepted. If you make intention from now, and this is my point, we come back to this. Keep your question, hold on to it. Okay? Keep it in your pocket, put your question in your pocket, hold on to it. If you make an intention from now, say, Ya Allah, I make an intention to do my very best. Shabab, I'm doing my very best during Ramadan. Okay? Yes.
Third time it runs out of juice.
Alright, so
Just go get a mic.
yeah, inshallah. We'll reach there.
Can you swallow the microphone?
Listen, if you make the intention from now to prepare for the month of Ramadan, you will spend the next month perfecting your actions, right? So you're going to start practicing. Maybe if you want to memorize a surah or you want to recite, so some people say, I want to recite the whole Quran in Ramadan. It's not easy just going to recite the whole thing. So every day you break it up, you divide it, you make a schedule, you make a calendar, and you slowly work at it. Okay? So intentions are followed by actions. You make an intention, but you have to do the work. Okay? So that's the time we have now. You don't want to be caught off guard in Ramadan and you're struggling. You want to be your optimal performance. You want to cruise at cruising altitude in Ramadan. You don't want to be crashing or taking off. Okay? So that's the point. You want to plan from now, inshallah. Okay.
In the ferry.
Any questions? I need no. We're gonna go with you first.
Okay.
Yes. Please think about your questions. Please think about them and then ask them. If they're not good questions, I'm gonna dismiss them.
My question. Please. Okay. So it's exactly the same thing that we were talking before.
Yes.
So when she said that, like, if you take a shot, it's gonna break, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay. But if he's a Muslim, he's not a Muslim, and he takes a shot and he's ill, and he wants to continue his fast.
So a person who's a believer, Muslim?
Yeah, and then he wants to continue his fast, but he's so sick, and he needs to get like energized so he can continue it.
Yes, so if someone is ill or sick, then they can make it up later. Okay?
No, she said he wants to fast. He wants to fast. He wants to continue his fast, but he's super ill and he wants to take a shot so he can continue it.
Yeah, so in this case it means he's ill. He can't really fast, so it's going to harm him.
He was jumping on me.
Okay, guys, please have a seat. Anyways, we'll answer these questions another time because it's more effective, okay? Yes?
How come like travelers and like widows don't fast?
Widows? Not widows. Travelers?
Yep.
Yeah, so if you're traveling, and traveling back in the day it's difficult and it's still difficult, right? Because what's happening, you're going against time. If you're traveling through the desert, it's super hot, you're gonna faint. The whole point is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to make it easy for you. ولا يريد بكم العسر. يريد بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر. Allah doesn't want to make it hard for you guys. He's trying to make it easier, right? So if you're traveling and it's difficult and you need to eat something because you're going to be wiped out, you're exhausted, you've been up for 24 hours or 30 hours, you don't have to fast. You can break it. You can just eat something to help yourself. Okay? So that's the point. But my ultimate sort of message for today is that plan early. Okay? One of the time management tips is plan early, do not procrastinate, and prepare for your dunya as much as you prepare for your akhirah. Okay? Jazakumullah khair. Any questions? Yes?
What about if you're in the ferry and then you fall?
No, don't say it.
And then you